It is a funky flashback Friday. Mary on the boards. We're live from the TireRack.com studio.
Is this a song about me and you, Chris, right here? A breakup song?
We want to thank Rap. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to laugh at it. We want to thank Rapid Radios, the official communication device of Fox Sports Radio. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com, and you'll get up to 60% off, free UPS shipping, and a free protection badge. If you add the code RADIO, RADIO, you get an extra 5% off. So, Rob, let's start by hearing some sound from Antonio Pierce, who, of course, played in the league as a linebacker and now is the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Here's his take on Tua.
I'll be honest, I'll just tell him to retire. It's not worth it. It's not worth to play the game. I haven't witnessed anything like I've seen that's happened to him 3 times. Scary. You can see right away the players' faces on the field. You can see the sense of urgency from everybody to get Tua help. I just think at some point, he's going to live longer and he's going to play football. Take care of your family.
All right, Rob, what are your thoughts?
I think you got to be very careful, Chris. A, you're not a doctor. You don't know what his condition is. I get it from watching from afar, and your first reaction is naturally for his health and safety and the future, and I get all that. It's going to be a decision that he's going to have to make with medical people who know what damage has been done and what can happen long term. So people can throw out, and I get it, everybody has opinions, and I'm not killing people for saying, oh, he should retire or whatever. But I think you got to be careful being a physician, a doctor, or or playing one from afar. Like, you really got to know what's happened here. And I don't know if that's the first thing that people should first be about his safety and everything. And then I guess at some point you could figure out how bad it is, and then what the future should be. And obviously it's going to be a decision that, I will say this, Chris, can't be just his. It's got to be a decision, family, doctors, other people, because at 27 years old, of course he wants to play. Of course. I don't even think that that's a question if you could get out there and if they're going to let you. That's why oftentimes we've seen football players where they take their helmets so that they can't get back out there,
right.
Because you want to play. Because you play football. You want to play regardless, but sometimes people have to protect you because it might not be in your best interest. So,
well, first of all, thank you for saying I played football. You usually mock me just because I just played at the high school level.
Well, I appreciate
the only time the last day love, is that what that is?
No, the only time is when you equate it to the NFL is when I'll frown my face up. Right,
yeah, I'm careful
that's
not
all.
To act
like don't do that. Right, don't do
right.
that.
I will say, Rob, and first of all, you heard Antonio Pierce say, he hasn't seen anything like that. Obviously, he's seen concussions. He probably suffered some, whether they were diagnosed or not. At linebacker, I'm sure he probably
Back then, they weren't diagnosing
right.
them. People had concussions. Right.
Right, absolutely. And when he said he hasn't seen anything like that, I think, Rob, and I can't recall. Now, if you or Rob G can let me know, because I'm sure it's happened, but I just can't recall. Tua, they were using the term he's went into the fencing position. When your muscle, your arms or legs kind of move, they're just kind of they seize up and like out of your control. And sometimes you might see a boxer do that occasionally, not a lot, but that the last two times, or at least 2 of the last 3 times, where 2, I think it is the last 2, where he's got concussions, he has seized up like that. Last night it was his foot, like his ankle or leg, his foot was pointed in an odd way. His arm was kind of up, like out of his control, which, comes from brain trauma. And like you said, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not trying to be one, but I do think that's what people really fear. Like, you've seen guys get hit hard, much harder. Like last night was just a routine play. He actually initiated the contact into DeMar Hamlin. But yeah, I think that's one thing that has people worried. I would say too, Rob, I agree with you that, look, people telling him to retire, I'm fine with that because it's done out of care and for his safety and for his health, whether they're right or wrong, but that I think they're doing it from the right place. I'm with you in that it's his decision. And I do think it's mainly his decision. And I say this, like you said, it's not just his. I think he's going to get cleared by the doctors. I'm not saying within the 10 days, and it might be 10 days. But I do think, and I could be wrong, but I feel very strongly that he's going to be cleared, whether it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, whatever it is. I feel strongly he'll be cleared to play football again. And if they clear him to play, then he has that right to play. The dangers and things like that. And I just hope that the doctors, the team, his family, and obviously himself are honest. And I hope, Rob, that they share with him, look, if you get hit again or this wasn't a huge hit from Damar Hamlin, that's the type of hit that that could happen every few games. That was just a kind of a routine play. I hope they're honest with him and share with him all the possible outcomes, and then he can make an educated decision. I will support him whatever he does. I'm praying for him. He's a man of faith himself, so I know he appreciates everybody's prayers. But I'll support him and pull for him no matter what he decides. My personal hope, Rob, and it means nothing to him, but my personal hope, just from seeing it, is that he retires. But that's just me. I hope I would like to see him retire and maybe get involved if he wants. He loves the game, obviously, but on the coaching level, broadcasting level, front office level, whatever he wants to do, he'll have opportunities. But just for his look, and I got to say this too, Rob. I am so glad, and all off season, I have said if I were the Dolphins, I would not have given Tua the huge contract. Rob G, what were the exact numbers? You could look them up and tell us. But he got the huge, $50-some-odd million a year contract. I said I wouldn't do it because, one, I want to see him stay healthy for another year. He's only had one fully healthy season in now his 5 years in the league. So I want to see another healthy year. And two, I'm still have questions about how good he's going to be. And so that was my stance, and I stand by that. If I were running the Dolphins, that would have been my stance. But, Rob, I'm so glad he got his contract.
Well, my stance was that the opposite, that he stayed healthy all year, didn't get hurt in game one. And you could get hurt, and I know it's history, but you don't know if he would have another full year. He got hurt in game two, whatever it could be. There was always that chance. But this is why football players, more than anybody, should have guaranteed contracts, Chris, whether they're smaller, 3 years guaranteed, and then the team could either re-sign you, move on, or whatever it is. Right. That's why. And if players don't understand that by seeing this and not understanding why it is so important for them to band together and demand that you're playing a game that basketball players and baseball, Chris, don't even have nearly the chance of something like this happening. And they have fully guaranteed contracts, great medical benefits, all that stuff. And yet
you think if anybody should have it, it's the football
And
players.
If the football players are looking at this and what they want is to practice less and smoke weed, shame on you. Because that's what they voted for, Chris. They did.
His deal, Rob, that he got this summer, this offseason, was 4 years, $212 million, $167 million guaranteed. So here's the situation financially for him. If he is forced to retire, which I don't think will happen, but again, I'm not a doctor. But if the doctors were just to say, Rob, you can't play. You can't play anymore.
Yeah, the insurance company will pay it.
Right? He would get $167 million. That's his guarantee. But if he is they clear him to play and then he decides on his own after talking with his family and stuff that he's just going to hang it up, he'll get at least $93 million. Now, I think he would probably try to negotiate something with the Dolphins where maybe he gets somewhere in between the 167 and the 93, but he would at the very least get $93 million. And Rob, remember in 2022, after he suffered the 2 concussions, he said he considered retirement. He talked it over with his family. He considered it. And then he started, working with guys and learning how to fall and to the ground in different ways that might keep him safe. But the thing is, any sport is unpredictable, and you just can't, you're not always going to be able to fall the right way or avoid the big hit or whatever it may be. Even now, as people aren't trying to hit helmet to helmet, it happens every game. The sport is a collision sport. And so, it's a challenge, man. And if he wants to play, I'm going to support him. And I get it. He's only 27, Rob. It's a tough situation.
It's a tough call. You're not 35 and had a career, right? I mean, that's easy, Chris, to walk away from that. That's the hard part. But it is a decision that is not just his. I mean, it's got to be a lot of people got to be involved to really spell it out for him. And his family has to be involved, too, and what could potentially happen long term if he were to play again.
All right, your turn to weigh in. 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Sure, a lot of you want to give your opinion on Tua and his future. But first, Steve DeSager with the update. Steve.
Let's start with the NFL injury news as we got 2 quarterbacks in the news. Will Russell Wilson be playing this weekend for the Steelers? Justin Fields had started the opener last weekend. Officially, Wilson is listed as questionable with the calf injury that has lingered. The game is at Denver on Sunday. And Packers QB Jordan Love is questionable for Sunday with a sprained MCL. As for Christian McCaffrey, the star running back of the 49ers is out again this weekend. Calf and Achilles injuries, and going on IR is a possibility. Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison is out against San Francisco with an ankle injury. Bears wide receiver Keenan Allen with his heel injury will be a game-time decision Sunday night at Houston. Same for rookie wideout Rome Odunze with his bad knee. Texans tight end Dalton Schultz returned to practice after an ankle injury. Cincinnati's at Kansas City Sunday. Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins is doubtful with the hamstring injury. Chiefs wide receiver Marquise Brown will have shoulder surgery on Monday. He's now on IR. Giants wide receiver Malik Neighbors practiced fully today after a knee injury. Browns tight end David Njoku officially out with the ankle injury. Dallas tight end Jake Ferguson doubtful with a sprained MCL. Philadelphia wide receiver A.J. Brown was limited in practice today with a bad hamstring. There's college football on Fox TV tonight in a half an hour, a top 20 matchup of Arizona at Kansas State. Right now, Kansas is at home and leading 7-0 over UNLV in the first quarter. Tiger Woods had another back operation today. It was the 6th surgery on his lower back in the past 10 years. To Major League Baseball, the Tigers still lead the Orioles 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Yankees are scoreless with Boston in the bottom of the 1st. The Yankees are the first-place team in the AL East, 2 games ahead of Baltimore. The Mets are scoreless at Philadelphia in the top of the 4th. Royals out to a 6-0 lead at Pittsburgh in the top of the 3rd inning. And currently it's the Dodgers scoreless bottom of the 1st at Atlanta. Dodger pitcher Tyler Glasnow with a bad elbow was scratched even from his simulated game today. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Steve. It's the Odd Couple, Chris and Rob, live from the TireRack.com studios. Your turn to weigh in on Tua, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. What you got?
All right, let's see. Who was that, TDK? TDK in Texas. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, TDK?
Hey, first time, long time.
Wow, thanks for calling.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, and I just want to say to Chris, congratulations. I'm a fellow Cincinnatian from College Hill as well. So.
Oh, wow. College Hill, too. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Tua, he knows what the end game is as far as, like, the cognitive dangers of concussions. He's got as many concussions as Chris Broussard has hometowns. Hang him up.
Has what?
He's a contributor on the
he says as many concussions as you have towns, Chris. How many towns you claim? Hometowns you claim.
That's a lot.
Exactly. So hang him up and be a contributor on The Odd Couple. Live a good life. That's all I got. Thanks,
All right. Thanks,
Hey,
TDK.
That's not bad. Thank you,
Appreciate it. 877-99 on Fox. Greg in the Natty. Greg in Cincinnati. You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I instantly thought of Sidney Crosby. I was terrified when he decided. I mean, he took a year off because of head injuries.
Yep.
Came back. He's still on the ice. So I leave it up to Tua.
I got you. Yep. There's a good example, Chris, of somebody who went through it.
Can you take? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I would think it helps, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but what about taking some time off?
Yeah.
A long time off.
It could. Yep.
I guess that's an option. Yeah.
It is. Tim, Chili Tim in Atlanta. You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Chili Tim?
Yeah, what up, Chris? What up, Noop? What up, bro?
What's up, Noop? How are you?
I'm good, man. In my field, my doctorate is in psychology, so, I've seen effects of, brain damage and trauma on people. So I'm hoping, like you, Chris, that they will seriously sit down and talk with him, neurologists, psychologists, a whole team of people to really kind of scope out, the dangers later on in life that could happen to him. And, he can make an informed decision. It's up to him. But I'm like you, give it to him and let him know, like you said, be honest, be truthful, and give him the scenarios. Don't tell him what he wants to hear, but definitely, tell him everything that could possibly happen because, it could take, I've had studies where I've seen people where it took them, 20, 30 years later for things to happen, but it can lead to things like Alzheimer's, dementia, early onset at early ages from concussion. So definitely something to be to take very seriously, and for him to really, really decide with his family and doctors and pray about. And brother, I'm gonna miss you, but take care. And Rob, I'm gonna be with you, man.
My man, I appreciate
Thank you,
that,
man.
Tim. Yep.
Definitely
Thank you.
miss you, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
Peace.
Randy in New Orleans. You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Randy?
Gentlemen, happy Friday.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Chris Broussard, happy trails to you, man. Uncle Rob, I'm going to still be hanging in here with you every week, sir.
My man.
Thank you,
Appreciate
my
that.
man.
Yes, the
Yes.
new show starts on Monday. We don't waste any time here.
Waste no time. Chris Broussard, see you in New Orleans.
Yes.
I just wanted to weigh in quickly about Tua. I'm talking merely from a parent standpoint. I have a son who played football, and I have a son that's a senior in high school that plays now. And God forbid, but if anything like that happened one time, that would be it for him. He wouldn't be playing no more. But to see Tua continuously go through this from a parent standpoint, I couldn't even imagine how his parents feel. So going forward, kind of like what Antonio Pierce said, you got to take care of your family, man. You got to be there for them in the end. He's made a lot of money. He got a lot of money guaranteed. Personally, I would say it's time to hang him up because I'm not a doctor, but it doesn't look like a regular type of concussion. Because
Right.
I've seen people have concussions and get up and walk it off and that type of thing. But Tua almost looks, he looked limp every time
Yeah.
he gets a concussion, and that's not a good sign, man.
And
Not a good sign.
He's married too. I think he got married
He's married.
recently, but he's married. Yeah, so his wife. It's tough on her.
He's married with two
obviously, too.
kids, huh? Okay.
Yeah, so.
Dre in Michigan. You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Dre?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Doing great.
Good,
How
man.
are you?
I'm good, man. I had to call with this being Chris last week, man. Before I get to my point, I just want to say, man, I used to listen to Joe Madison every night on my way to work. And one night he went to commercial break, and I changed the channel. Man, that's the longest commercial break in history. Because I never went back.
6 years later, that no doubt
Thank
about
you,
it.
man. Thank you.
I'm dead serious. I never did, man. I know that our couple going to continue, and I'm going to continue to listen. But this
Appreciate it.
iteration can never be duplicated. What
Oh,
you
no.
guys did for us through COVID, through all of the like I said, the insurrections and everything, you guys, I'm telling you, man, y'all made it feel like we was part of a family. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Mark in Sacramento, whether it's Marty in Kentucky, y'all shouting out GW when he passed. Man, y'all make us feel like we part of something. That's rare. You're not going to find that again. I wish you much success, Chris, man.
Oh,
You
that's
my
nice.
brother. Hey, love you, bro, for real.
Thank you, man.
But-
I really appreciate
sir.
that. Those are great words.
Yep.
Thank you very much. All
All right, we got one more.
Yep.
Obi in Los Angeles. We got a couple more, I should say. Obi in Los Angeles. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Obi?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Just wanted to say that you guys are the epitome of hard work breeds success. Everybody knows your story, Mr. Parker, getting through what happened to you with the old network. You got up, brushed yourself off, and continued. Now you're successful. Mr. Broussard, they tried to pigeonhole you as being the basketball guy, but you grew, and now you have your show, and you're going on to bigger and better things. Congratulations to both of you. I, of course, will keep listening.
Thank you.
And really appreciate all the work and all the stuff that you've brought to us. As far as Mr. Tua goes, I believe that he should. I'm hoping that the league steps in and says, okay, you can't play anymore, so he'll get all of his money. That's the best case scenario for him, is that somebody else steps in so you can't play anymore, and then he gets his full guaranteed money. Again, gentlemen, I just want to say again, thank you for all you guys are doing. You guys are great. Best show ever, and continued success to the two of you.
Appreciate that. Really, Obi, thank you.
Rob,
go ahead.
Oh, we got one more?
One more. Brian in Miami. Let's do that since he's down there in Miami, too. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, B?
Man, Rob, Chris, it's been an honor listening to you guys. Chris, man, it's been great having you on the show, man. Both of you are going to be my uncles for life.
Man, they don't get nicer than that right there.
That's right. Thank you, man.
This show is irreplaceable for me. But so good luck on whatever future endeavors you got, Chris. And so on Tua, the first thing when I saw the video, the first thing I thought of was Chris, because he talked about, I don't know if I want to pay Tua. I don't know if he should get this money yet. I want to see him healthy. And it wasn't just, obviously I prayers to him. I hope he's okay. But, he wasn't, he was struggling before the injury. And then the injury happens. And I think the difference is that, they've had neurologists on different networks and stuff like that talk about how, it's easier for it to happen again. And you could see that he just ran into DeMar Hamlin.
Right.
He just ran into him. So what happens is they clear him and he comes back, and just by chance a helmet-to-helmet happens, or it's third down, he gets sacked by Chris Jones. Like, that could be a much worse situation than what we saw.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's what we're talking about. Like, look, and there was an ex-NFL player, Dez Bryant, who tweeted out, a lot of players tweeted stuff out. And Dez tweeted that the NFL should step in and, basically not let him play anymore. If the doctors say it's to me, it's not the NFL's decision. It's the doctors.
And first of all,
independent doctors.
Chris, the NFL, they're not going to do the right thing anyway. If they were doing the right thing, they'd have great benefits, medical stuff for the players. They wouldn't be forcing an 18th game if this was the NFL looking out for the players now. So don't look for them to decide now that they want to help the players. I just don't buy into that. I'm sorry.
And I don't think it's there. Like, if he is cleared, if Tua is cleared by doctors, now the doctors, to me, it's on them. But if
I want
clear
independent
him,
doctors, not
I
team
totally
doctors.
agree. I would imagine he'll definitely have some independent doctors. But the independent doctors look at him, and if they clear him, I don't think the NFL should be able to say, no, you can't play. I don't think that should be their call. If he wants to play and he's cleared, he should be able to play.
I think
there's sports, Rob, we know are dangerous. We know in the blink of an eye, somebody's life could be changed. NASCAR, boxing, MMA, football. Some of these sports are dangerous.
Yeah, I just think you got to be careful. There's a legal thing. You can't stop someone from earning a living, especially Chris. He would be able to sue the NFL if he was cleared by doctors. So I think that you just can't unilaterally decide. You know what I mean? Like they'd have to be like their doctors would have to say, this is not. You know what I mean? Where they and then say
it's going to
be like doctors saying that to the NFL. This is not good. He should get all of his money. You know what I mean? And tell this kid to move on with his life because this football is just not for him, and that's what it would have to be. Those would have to be the options. So this way you couldn't really be sued, Chris, if he got all of his money. You see what I'm saying? Like that would be the only way that the NFL could stop him from playing.
Rob G, you had a question?
Yeah, just quickly. So we saw earlier today Manti Te'o, who has known him since he was like 5 years old, both from Hawaii.
Played at Notre Dame,
right.
Played in the league a little
Tua
while.
famously said this offseason that his mom was the one who actually wanted him to retire this past offseason or before last offseason. The question, I guess, because you guys, I think we all think that for safety-wise, it looks like his body's probably not built for football. How much of this do you think is just the competitor, him wanting to play and wanting to keep going? And how much of it is, if I walk away willingly, I'm giving up $120 million?
I think it's totally the competitor. Because he's still going to have made over $100 million playing football.
Rob G, I'm with you. That I think, like, you don't quit. I would, if I have to not play, I want the league or the team to tell me that I'm not playing. You know what I mean? And then, Chris, after they say that to me, then I can say, okay, I'm not playing. I don't think you're the first one to run out to say, oh, yeah, I'm quitting. I'm going to retire. I don't think that that's smart because you might get information that comes back from the doctors, Chris, that concur with that, and then you get your money. You see what I'm saying?
Well, and I think he should say, like, even if I don't, like, if he doesn't want to play anymore, whether it's his mom's feelings, his wife's feelings, his own feelings, then I don't think the money should be the defining factor. Now, that said, I would go to the Dolphins and my agent and obviously go to him and try to get the whole 167. And if they want to play hardball, then maybe, you stay around and you may not even play, but you don't retire, So I get that, but I just think at the end of the day, he's still going to have well over $100 million. I hope he gets the whole 167. So I understand where you guys are coming from, but I just think he's got to do what he wants to do regardless of the money, because either way, he's wealthy. All right, more Odd Couple coming your way. We're going to move on to Caleb Williams looking to bounce back this weekend. Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.